Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to draw awesome poses within 3 minutes or less. First, I need to do a little bit of setup, okay? But after that part, I'm going to actually show you in the rest of this video how to draw poses like a pro. So first, if you want to draw poses really fast, I like to use a tool called Magic Poser. And in this, you can see it's really simple to start actually manipulating a model. Sometimes people call these models characters. In fact, I'll probably say characters for the rest of the videos just to keep it simple. It's funny because people oftentimes think of Magic Poser like a game, but it's not. It's a pose drawing art tool. When I use Magic Poser, I take the character and I start using these joints. You can see they're all labeled with these, uniquely teal circles. And whenever you tap one, it turns orange, and that's how you know you have that selected. And you literally could just drag these circles or these axes on the model, so that way you can get a precise look or feel. And I'm using a reference. I'm actually using Draw Like a Sir's poses from his YouTube video. And just again, whenever I make poses, I always like to have some sort of reference, especially if there's a really cool art reference out there. And sometimes I might get it from a manga or some sort of anime, but nonetheless, you can see how fast it is to actually pose these characters. And if you want to get really precise, especially in the fingers or the hands, there's actually a hand menu that allows you to get really precise on the thumbs, the index finger, the pointer finger, and they even have some presets as well. So once I get this set up the way I'd like, then I actually will go ahead and export it. But before I jump into explaining that part, I typically use Magic Poser to help me make sure that I have my characters in the right perspective. So for instance, my characters, I put into a scene that I oftentimes will build with geometric shapes in this app, and then I want to make sure that I have things, or at least the characters, positioned properly when I actually get ready to draw my scene for a manga or some sort of artwork. But in this example, it's really easy. So now I've gone ahead and started to put it into Procreate. Magic Poser makes it really easy. You can actually go to the 2D export options, and you can just go ahead and hit export, and you can actually save it. In this case, I like to copy it and then go to Procreate and paste it. You can also get rid of the sky and the ground, and then go ahead and do the same process of exporting it to 2D. You can do it as a high resolution image or basically a medium resolution image. I'm not sure what kind of resolution it actually is at medium. In this case, it doesn't really matter because I'm just trying to get the pose. Here's the part where we actually draw a awesome pose within 3 minutes. So once I get the pose, then I like to go ahead and start with the head. Get the joints, so the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the hips, the knees, the ankles. I'm just getting all of the different joints together, so that way it's just way easy for me to complete it. And then I line everything up. So my basic lines, I'm just making sure that I'm just putting the muscle, or I'm like lining the muscle, so that way it's easy to see. It really was pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. If I want to actually draw poses like a pro, the key here is to actually understand anatomy. So you don't want to just kind of wing it. You want to really understand how the muscles work, and most of art is an observation. It's heightening or improving your ability to observe, and you're essentially copying the world around you. That's really the key to being a great artist. You can try and copy the world through anime or manga, and that's great, but really to become a great manga artist or to become a great illustrator or painter, you really have to understand how the world works. You're basically becoming a creator in some aspects. And so I would suggest that you actually understand anatomy, and then eventually you're just going to throw it all out the window. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a little bit. But my approach to actually drawing poses, great poses like a master, is first I always will have a reference. I might use Magic Poser, or I might use another reference, something else. Like for instance, I have a pose that I found on YouTube that I found really actually kind of cool, and so I actually recreated it in Magic Poser, and then I didn't use this as a reference. I used the actual artwork as a reference, but then I just had the Magic Poser reference or character model posing the same way, just so you could see that it's doable in Magic Poser. But what I did is I went ahead and I found this character reference, and my approach is I start out with, like I said before, capturing the joints. So I start with the head. Sometimes I'll draw the neck. Oftentimes I'll draw the neck next, and then I'll have the shoulders, the wrists, the elbows, the waist, the hips, ankles and knees. And then once I get all of that, I just start to fill it in. But I do, again, very simple lines. And like I said, you do want to know anatomy for this reason. Is like I said, you'll eventually be able to, eventually you'll want to actually throw it all out the window, not in the sense of not following those rules of anatomy, but you want to throw it all out the window, because you're not actually going to draw every single line of the human bones and tissues and tendons. You're actually going to have it in your head to know where they all are. And that's how I'm able to draw this pose, is I'm able to keep everything framed up. And the reason why I don't draw every little detail of anatomy is because, again, it's going to be erased anyway. I didn't mention that before, but typically you draw clothes in your characters, you draw weapons, you draw them in scenes, and sometimes you have to erase parts of it. You're really trying to tell a story as an artist, and you don't really need all the anatomy to show. So that's what I mean by you'll throw it all away, but you still have it at least keep, helping you to keep the structure. And at some point when you understand anatomy really well, you'll actually be able to start with the detail right away, because you have it all memorized. Now, if you wanted me to make a video where I could show you how to start to draw, or how to draw with detail first, just let me know in the comments. And if you want to learn how to use Magic Poser for your art, go ahead and watch this video right here.